Hello everyone and welcome to today's Facebook Live focusing on Ask Me Anything About SEO. So that'll be our topic of the day. I'll walk you through how to set up SEO on your website, but we'll also make a bigger discussion about how you can utilize PhotoBiz for your website, utilizing the SEO tools that are built in, and just some strategies. We'll kind of walk you through some terms, we'll walk you through some blog types that might help, how you can optimize your galleries, and just how to blog in general if you've never done it before. So this is going to be a great way to kind of learn more about SEO if this is still, fairly new to you, or even if you have been doing it for a while and maybe you're trying to figure out how you can optimize your site. This is going to be a great opportunity to kind of run through that today. So if you have any questions or comments, please leave it in the comment section. We'll get started momentarily, but I'm just really excited to talk about SEO today. So, there's a lot of brand new things that we can talk about, some new functionalities that have been added to the website in the last year that'll help improve SEO results. So we'll kind of walk through that and how you can utilize that as well. So again, if you have any comments or questions, please leave it in the comment section and we'll take a look as we go. Give people a few more minutes and then we'll get started. Okay, we'll be getting started shortly. Again, if you have any questions or comments, please leave it in the comment section. I want to know what you're trying to do with SEO and how we can improve your SEO and some topics I can help improve upon. So, that's some things that I want to work on today. So we'll kind of jump right on into some dialogue about what SEO is. And so we'll kind of just start there. So let's look at some things that you can do right away is let's define what SEO is. When we're looking at it, it's basically how search engines can find you, correct? So in the most basic terms, it's how search engines find you. So when we're looking at it, it's how Google and these other teams can find you. When people are trying to type in things, it's a way to index you. So it's like kind of being like in the yellow pages, but now on a digital compass. And the way this works also is you can rank. So, if you are on the yellow pages and your business started with a X, you're at the back of the page, right? You couldn't rise to the front. Unless you were, your business started with an A. So, people try to optimize back in the day for yellow pages by being, having like AAA services, or one of my favorites is to point out is aardvark photography. Just so you can have your business at the front of the pages. So when people flip open for the first time, the first thing they're going to see is your business, because people might not see anything in the middle. So Google can rank based on that stuff, but it's not based on title or name. It's going to be more based on how engaging your content is. So when we're looking at SEO, there's a lot that goes into it. So kind of let's look at this important chart. You can kind of see there's so many things that go into SEO that people kind of get stuck on things. When you hear people talk about SEO, they kind of relegate to a few ideas. Keywords, page title, descriptions, and sometimes that's about it. Those are kind of the big three that people kind of get stuck on. And then maybe alt tags. So you'll have those four are what people really think about, but that's about it. They don't think about any of the content that goes on the actual page, but that's a huge core of this because it's all about engagement. Yes, you can do the legwork to get everything put on your website utilizing PhotoBiz and making sure that you're visible that way, but there's many other factors that go into it. Say you have a dead web page that no longer ranks or you come from a previous platform over to PhotoBiz and that page link no longer works, but you're still being indexed for it on the same .com, Google will notice that and actually ping your website for stuff. So think about this. Google is constantly pinging you, constantly ranking you based on how usable your website is, how engaging the content is on the page, and making sure that you're not cheating. You know, there's a lot of people that would use old tactics that go out there and make your stuff not visible. So we call that black hat SEO. And what that is like hiding stuff on a page so you can be searched for it, or keyword stuffing and adding hundreds of words on it. Or my favorite is writing a bunch of text and then hiding it as the same color as the background, thinking that's how you get ranked. But a lot of those strategies are actually docked these days, and they're not being, ranked anymore. The algorithms, the AI systems that are involved with these search engines are much, much smarter than they were, say, even 10 years ago, even 3 years ago, if you want to. So I still see people trying to use strategies from 20, 25 years ago to implement on their website. Right when websites were just becoming a thing, of course people were trying to use those strategies, but people still using those strategies today, they're not seeing the same results. So it's kind of wild to me that when I see someone using those strategies and they think it's okay, or keyword stuffing, like they say the same place over and over again, Greensboro photography, Greensboro photographer. I love being a Greensboro photographer, shooting photography in Greensboro, because those types of things are actually sound mechanical, if that makes sense, to a machine. And yeah, it's a machine learning. It's AI. It's artificial intelligence. So what it's actually interested in is more organic speech. So think about how you write as a human, because it wants to write and read things as a human would, because it wants to become more human. It's scary, I know. But that all is important for SEO. So you can see there's things that are top ranked at the top, but let's start at the very bottom. Crawlability. So when we're looking at things to be crawled on your website, it's looking for SSL security, site publishing, page navigation, so that's how your menu is, robot.txt file, which is integrated into the system itself, so you don't have to worry too much about that. But if you don't have that on your website, it can not block spam and things like that. So you want to make sure that you have something out there like that. And breadcrumbs. And what are breadcrumbs? Basically little pieces to get you back to certain pages. Those are things that are being crawled for. Indexability. So this is how the website is indexed in their system. So it's looking for pages redirect. So if there's old pages that are linked wrong, it'll also see that as an index, and it'll go to 404 errors or things like that. And Google starts kicking you out for that stuff. So if you have Google Search Console set up on your website, you'll be able to see things like pages that are redirecting or not redirecting, 404 errors, 403 errors, you name it. It's constantly searching for these things to make your website better when it comes to search. So there's definitely going to be some things that we mention later on that you really want to have on your website when it comes to making your website more searchable. Mobile responsiveness, that's a huge key. More than almost 80% of business these days is actually done first on the phone and then maybe completed on a desktop. So that's why it's very important to make sure that your website is searchable, especially on responsive devices. So think about PhotoBiz. One real nice thing about it is our websites are mobile responsive. A lot of these other website builders these days are trying to make you do it twice, and that could be really difficult. You don't have time to build twice. So when we're looking at building, what's really nice is, I'm going to flip over to our builder right here. What's nice is you can click up here, you can see this is the device preview option. You can see how it automatically converts to those types of options based on the content within it. So if we were looking at like a gallery or something like that, you can see it automatically convert and scale and properly respond to the page content on there. So that's what you want to make sure that your website's able to do. You want to make sure it's fast, but you also want to make sure that it can respond quickly to devices, because people are going to be loading this up on their phones. They're not just connected, they're not hardwired into the internet like you mostly are at home or using Wi-Fi. Now you're utilizing satellite networks and pinging off those. So you're hitting an antenna, then going to space, right? So a lot of that data has to go by fast and quick. So we want to make sure that that stuff is mobile responsive and fast and easy to read, and you don't have time to build it twice. So let's make sure you build it once. Removing duplicate content. Have you ever copied a page and it's almost one for one the same exact thing? Google doesn't like that. So it's looking for things that are replicating. So removing things like that might be copying over and over again. You might have a home page, but you've done it 3 times for different types of segments, but you've only switched out a few things here and there. Google can notice these little switches, and it doesn't like that. So it wants you to remove that type of content. In HTTP errors. So this is something that is becoming less common, luckily, but if you still are on older platforms that are non-secure websites, HTTP errors can happen all the time. You can have the wrong subdomain, you can have it where it's still unsecured, and then Google's listed the HTTP version versus the HTTPS version of your site if you just have your SSL finally turned on, and when they go to click on it in Google or some search engine, it automatically goes to an error because now there's an S involved. So you got to make sure that it's getting indexed properly. So these are things that you're really going to want to take advantage of, and that's why it's important with the crawlability functionality, making sure your sitemap is published whenever you make any huge updates. So if your SSL security is turned on, or you turn on anything in your website, or you make radical changes, you always want to publish that sitemap because that's where it's knocking on Google's door to make sure you're indexed properly. Now let's talk a little bit about accessibility. Accessibility goes into a little bit more behind the scenes type stuff that you guys don't really have to worry about, but is important, especially if you aren't on our platform, because this is stuff that you have to really look into. But we've optimized it. Our developers have built on these systems, these servers, this hardware, cloud systems, you name it, to optimize for these functionalities so they're just easy for you to think about so you don't have to think about them. But if you're using something like, some third-party hosting or something like that, you have to consider what they're using. You have to consider their servers, what type of servers they might be using. Are they using cloud-based servers? Are they using something that's integrated and linked? Or are they on their own private server? How heavy is the load? How many page opens can it have? How many users can it actually take into the website? 1,000, 10,000, 10 million, 10 billion per month? How many times? What is the thresholds, right? That's what you want to look at when it comes to servers. So our servers are managed in a cloud-based system, and it's very beautiful. What's nice about it is if it starts to feel like a lot of people are going to a website, like maybe you get viral all of a sudden and people are just coming to your website, you don't have to worry about it locking up or seizing or anything like that. Our system has it built into, if there's a threshold about to be met, another server comes online to take over on that ability. So these are things that we've thought about for our users so you don't have to worry about it. But some other systems, if you ever seen it, I always love it when TV shows like Shark Tank talk about it. They have the episode of Shark Tank, product goes viral. Next thing you know, that customer says, my website crashed the next day. Or you think about like 10 years ago, Apple would have a new product come out and their website would crash immediately before they had their own computer systems and everything like that at their own headquarters. Before that, they were using borrowed systems, right? So you would see website crashes all the time. This thing went viral, website crash. Now you can't get those products, right? We've optimized our servers to make sure that you're being allowed to have that hosting opportunity. And that's what hosting really comes down to, is putting your website onto the servers. These servers are basically like little areas where your website can be held, and that's where it's hosted. And that's what you want to make sure. So it's looking at things like accessibility of those. Is your server strong enough? Is your hosting good? That's basically what it's looking at when it comes to accessibility. You want to make sure that your domain is properly aligned and set up correctly on these servers, and that's important, which helps with page speed. Page speed is huge because a lot of people don't think about it when it comes to, when they're uploading stuff. But it's very important. So we have created websites that draw less JavaScripts, which is very important. Don't use a lot of custom code or third-party tools or anything like that. So if you're coming from WordPress, you'll notice that pretty much the entire WordPress system is built on plugins. You need a plugin for SEO. You need a plugin for a gallery. You need a plugin for this to render a certain way. You need a plugin for Instagram. You need a plugin for, you name it. That's what WordPress is built on. And it's all third-party operated within another third party. So it's reliant on that person. If there's any bugs or anything, they have to fix it, or the system can go outdated. If our system is constantly updated, it's being managed by our in-house team. They're constantly looking at these things, and we stripped out a lot of unnecessary code. So if you're building a website through like something like WordPress, whatever that template is built out of has a lot of hidden code that might make things look attractive, but then the next thing you know is, hey, you start scrolling through your websites a little slow. We've tried to engineer our websites to not have that. So when you're loading up a website, it loads. So when you're clicking over here, we're going to look at it. It's almost instantaneous once it's loaded. Boom, right away into something else. So if all these images were here, it would go very fast, very easy. And that's what you want. And our system has been engineered that way. Our servers have been engineered that way. So the more people that visit your website, the faster your website is. There's a caching involved and things like that. So we've optimized our page speeds based on that. So we have a lot of things that go into it. When you upload an image, 3 versions of that images are created on the system. So you don't have to worry about that. You don't have to worry about resizing or anything like that when it comes to it. Like, I need to have a large version and a small version. No, don't worry. Our system will create 3 versions. Really, it comes down to it creates 3 different types. And those 3 types are literally the desktop version, a tablet version, and a mobile version. And they all work that way. So you don't have to worry about it when it comes to the design. So that's what the system's engineering. So it's creating a mobile version. So like a small have been created out of that single image. A large has been created out of that single image. So it's very fast, very seamless, and you only had to upload 1 image to see that happen. That's what I really love about the PhotoBiz platform is it's doing a lot of extra work behind the scenes that you don't even know about. And again, it goes back to what I was talking about with rendering JavaScripts. JavaScripts and plugins, again, they're very heavy on a page. We've tried to optimize our system to not utilize a lot of JavaScript systems. Now, of course, there might be some things that you want, like animations or rollover effects or anything like that, video content. Of course, you can add those to your website. We're not going to hold that against you. But the more video content that you have on any website, the more JavaScripts and more code it's adding to a page. If you add a third-party widget, of course, that's adding code to a page. So if it goes from a 0.2 millisecond loading time to now a 1 second millisecond time, it's because there's third-party hosting or parties involved with plugins. So just be aware of that. And then when it comes down to orphan pages are a very unique thing. So it's like just a page that just kind of lives out in nowhere. It doesn't have anything that really links to it. Doesn't have anything that goes to it. These pages are kind of like landing pages in a way, but they have no connection. So imagine just having a page that did nothing. You know, if it gets crawled on Google, it can kind of seem as nefarious in a way, or just kind of like doing something and weighing down the index. So it kind of docks you for that. So be aware of any pages that just don't do anything. And page depth comes down to how long is your page. You know, that's a very important thing. You know, when we're going into text, the shorter it is, you know, there's not much words on a page or much, you know, call to actions on it. Google's looking at those things as identifying options as, is this worth even looking at? And if it's not going to really index it. If you go onto a page where it's just like, click here, and that's all it says, it doesn't do much for Google either. So imagine how you're just like, okay, it's just kind of a window to somewhere else. So it kind of just doesn't want to dock that information as well, so it's just going to kick it out. And then redirects. Again, we talked a little bit about that before, but it's very important to make sure that you have redirects set up just in case, you know, maybe you go from one platform to the other, you had this link, and now that link no longer works. It's still being indexed, so now when it hits, it goes to a 404 error. What's really nice is if you have it all set up and that page does not exist on your new website, what's really nice is you can go up to the settings section, and if you remember what that link is, so you can always reconnect it somewhere else. You can redirect it to a different page. So if it was your .com / you know, we'll just say it was originally saying winter, you can now push it to wherever you want it to go. Now that winter doesn't exist on your website, maybe you just want it to default to your about page or your booking page or something like that. You could have it definitely do that, so whenever someone clicks winter, it'll automatically take them to that page right away. So that way they're not getting lost. There's no 404 errors or anything like that. That's something that's very important when it comes to the SEO system. So any old outdated links on your website, redirect them. Just send them somewhere else. That way they're not indexed and broken. Say you delete those pages and now they're in the dumpster and they're gone forever. Always set up a redirect anyway to go to a page on your website. Send them to your home page if you need to, if that's necessary. Just get them back to your site so there's no broken links. More broken links there are, Google thinks this isn't worth it and it starts to hide you. All right, now let's go up to rankability. Linking, backlinks, and content clusters. Content clusters is one of my new favorite things to talk about. But first, let's talk about linking. So how important is linking? Linking is huge. Obviously, you want to make sure that things connect. And the more it connects, the better. It kind of goes into the redirects. If there's any broken links, it automatically thinks something's wrong. And you have your Google Search Console set up, it's going to tell you if something's wrong. A link error, or a 404 error, or a 403 error, something like that will pop up. That's why it's very important to make sure your links are connected properly. Anything that's broken is going to send them somewhere to a 404 page, or improper linking, it's just going to be more heavy and more doxed on that side. So Google's looking at things like that. So make sure your links fixed. Make sure you have your links they're fixed. Redirects is the easiest way to do that. Super easy. So even if you have an old outdated link on an old blog article or something like that, at least make sure that it links somewhere else. Maybe it was an old forum or something like that. Send them somewhere else to your website. That way you defeat it, and you're not having to track down every single thing that you've done in the past. Just default it back to the backlinks. And you can always sometimes search for yourself on Google and see old links, and you're like, oh, I gotta fix this. Go ahead and set that redirect up real quick. Backlinks. Backlinks is very cool because a lot of people don't really understand what that goes into, but backlinks are, giving you legitimacy. And those legitimate factors is if someone's able to backlink to your website, that starts to give you more value. And the more reputable that location is, the better. Say you're getting a viral hit, and someone like Buzzworth and all these other websites start picking you up, BuzzFeed, Times, or even your local newspaper or news outlets. If they pick you up and they link back to your website, that gives you more legitimacy in Google's eyes, because it already ranks things higher on that rank, right? So if it's looking at the timesmagazine.com or time.com is a legitimate source and is backlinking to your website, obviously it thinks your website is way more valuable now. So these are things that are important. Now, you might not have that, you might not have that virality, you might not have that, but if you're able to get it in your local news outlets or anything like that, in local newspapers, that's always great. Chambers of commerce are also great because it just gives you more legitimacy. So think of ways that you can make sure that you have a link set up on other people's websites, and even vendors that you might work with. If you're able to link to them and they link back to you, it creates this, this ecosphere that you're really wanting to have on your website. So this is very important to create those backlinks, because it basically linking from other websites to your website is growing like a separate network, and Google starts to notice that. Now, content clusters are cool, and I'll show the example down in a bit, but content clusters are a great way to, like, if you have a lot of specific things that you work on, maybe you do multiple types of photography, content clusters are great because you can kind of create its own separate pages within your website that are dedicated to content for that. So maybe you have a wedding, page on your website for all the types of photography you do, and within that wedding page, you link to multiple types of pages about wedding stuff. So wedding investment opportunities, wedding galleries, wedding blogs, etc. The more you're able to create its own little ecospheres inside your website on those specifics, that's what a content cluster is. And the more content within those clusters there are, it starts to be, again, a network within the network, if that makes sense. So your website has its own built-in search engine, really. And once it's there, it's like this has all been indexed, they all connect to one another, and they all are telling a specific story. Google likes that type of stuff because now it's like saying, hey, they've really put thought into this website, now there's more here. And hey, they have it set up for their other things too. So maybe you have family and you do weddings, there's a whole cluster for family stuff, and there's a whole cluster for wedding stuff, and there's no overlapping. This is very key to it because it feels like instead of a spider web, or what we call it, where it's all tangled up in a ball, it's all networked properly. So there's no strands in the way or anything like that. So this is very important. Cat's cradle, I guess you could say. There's no cat's cradle. It's all straight and easy to navigate. That's key to helping with the rankability. And then we can look at some clickability. Now this is at the very highest piece, and this usually comes in last, and this is where Google kind of starts to take charge a little bit. If your website's indexed properly, a lot of engagement on your website, and then it starts to create things like schema and tagging, SERPs, and Google snippets. Now let me go to the bottom as we go through this. Again, we talked about some of the crawlability stuff, SSL security, which you get with your website, XML you get with your website, page navigation structure, how you build out your pages. This is key. Again, that robot.txt file, which is also included. You can create your own breadcrumbs, and breadcrumbs are really awesome because it's basically creating like little navigation at the top of pages where it goes from home, portfolio, senior galleries. You can manually create this if you want to, which is really nice because then it can just send people back. It makes it easy for navigation. You can also do secondary navigation, which I'll point out later. But, other things, indexing, page redirects, huge thing, which is also included with PhotoBiz. I need to add that here now. And mobile responsive, which is also included. Removing duplicate content, HTTP errors, making sure that you have your SSL turned on. And then, again, your accessibility, your server and hosting, all included with us. Your page speed, all included with us. We've optimized it through our servers. Rendering JavaScripts and plugins, again, making sure that you have low amounts of that because it just weighs heavy on a website, and the heavier it is, page speed can be slowed down by that. And again, page depth, we're looking at things of how far a page can go into, how many clicks it takes to go into a website to get somewhere. So if you're getting to somewhere from home, your store page, your products and categories to the next page, it looks at things like that. So we always say a minimum of 3. Don't go much further than that. Then it might just be too many funnels, right, at the end of the day for your sales anyway. And it also goes down to length as well. How long is your page? The longer it is, the more content that there is, but don't go too deep into the funnel because it can really be distracting. And redirects, again, are very valuable. And then, again, we talked about rankability, linking, backlinks, content clusters, very good. Definitely take a look at that. And then you can see things like we've done this page, the Design Academy. It's one of our older pages, but you can see how it still works. You see this entire Design Academy was dedicated to design content. This is kind of like a cluster. So you can see all the resources that are available. They all are telling a cohesive story when it comes to design. So that's a major piece of it. So think about that when you're creating your own content clusters. If it's all wedding oriented, all family oriented, seasonal, you name it. Clickability, again, schema. Again, this is part of it. It's included, the tagging ability. So making sure that you have your tagging set up. Anytime you create tags, tagging is fantastic because it helps with search engines, it helps with SEO, and it helps with organization within this PhotoBiz Studio Management tool, the CRM. Make sure you have it set up properly because then Google starts to do some fun things. With your search engine results page or SERPs, it's a great thing. If you've ever been to, when you search for someone online, you start seeing like little breakouts. And what's nice is like you'll have their link, and then below it, it'll have page index links right after that. So if we were looking up someone like, I don't know, let me just pull up PhotoBiz real quick to see if I pull up. Now, it might look different because I'm looking at it from a different perspective, but it's when you start seeing pages break out like this. If you notice, you can see where it comes here, and then there's a page link right here. It starts breaking out pages within your website that have value. So the contact page has value, the login page has value, the pricing page has value, and then learning about the website builder itself has value. These things start happening more organic, in terms of search or anything like that happens on your website. The more people that are trafficking it, Google starts to be like, well, these pages are also important and they're also on the same website. So let me start breaking this information out and serving it and making it easier and more organized for users to find. So it's really beautiful when that happens. Let me type it out. If I were to type in Jen Lewis Photography, you can see here's Jen Lewis, one of our photographers on our platform, and you can see here's hers working for her. The investment page, the actors and models, forums for photographers, and meeting her. These pages have done a really great job at helping it. So the longer she's been online, the better her pages are performing, the more engaging the content on it is. Google starts to make indexes within indexes, and that's what's really that part is all about. So definitely getting your SERP set up. It's great for, feature your Google My Business, your business websites, how-to, video, articles, you name it, all that gets broken out from there. And it creates these little snippets which are great as well. So that's where all that little piece of Google, where it's doing more work you don't even know about. So it's very important to make sure that you have, your Google Analytics on your website, making sure that you have Google Search Console on your website. If you don't have that, that's really awesome. And also making sure you have a business profile set up on Google. Once they start learning and working all together, they start to create that little piece on themselves, which is really nice. So other ways you can optimize your website, obviously, is your file size, making sure that you're uploading, files that are, systematically going to be generated. And we talked a little bit about how our system works. You upload one file, it creates 3 versions. The large version that you upload down to 2 other ones. So you have a large and a medium and a small, basically. And those mediums and smalls, medium's going to be for tablet devices or smaller devices, Windows, and then the phone devices are going to be the small ones. So you don't have to worry about having one and then resizing those images and uploading 3 images. Upload your one, the system will take care of the rest. Less code. Again, we've talked a little bit about that. Third-party tools, way heavy on the website. So we've optimized our websites to perform faster by removing that type of code so you don't have to worry about it. Some really cool things that happen within our system is lazy loading. Now, a few years ago, people are like, hey, I want everything to load when I scroll. Well, when you do that, it weighs heavier. It takes longer to load. And the longer it loads, load times are looked at on Google, so we optimize it by having lazy load options. Of course, if you can get everything on the page before lazy loading, fantastic. But we optimized it to have the lazy load function so people can click here, learn more, or see more when possible, because now it loads again versus loading everything. So if it took 10 seconds to load that entire web page, now we've optimized it to maybe only load in 2 seconds. And Google will prefer it to load faster. It's going to rank you higher. And then, of course, shorter pages. You can have a lot of indexed information on it, but I've seen a lot of people try to get away with making single pages for everything. Don't do that. The more information on a page, it takes a lot longer to load, but also it becomes stagnant. People start skipping information and people start bouncing from pages. So make sure that you're developing a better strategy when it comes to content. I'd rather you have more pages and create those little clusters versus having a long page that's hard to figure out. So those are some of the things that we're talking about when it comes to technical guides. So take a look at this guide again. This is important. This is kind of how everything goes into it. It's a lot more than metadata, description, titles, and keywords. It's a whole lot more that goes to SEO that our system's doing, that you might be doing, or you don't even know has to be done, that's being done on your behalf. So that's really, really important. So next big question is, a lot of people ask is PhotoBiz good for SEO? Well, we've already kind of explained it in that technical guide, but short answer is yes. And the why is because we're optimizing the website structure, mobile-friendly devices. We got our design in there. It's all built that way to work. That page speed optimization obviously is a huge key factor. The keyword research on-page optimization, something that we do have. So we do have that ability to modify your page title descriptions and keywords. So definitely, if you want to have that, guess what? It's there. You have the ability to publish your sitemap. Again, that's you knocking on Google's door saying you've made an update to your website or you're ready for your website to go live. It's very huge and important. And redirects. Redirects are huge. So again, we've talked about how if a page is broken or you moved a page or you deleted a page, but that page still hangs out there, you have the ability to create redirects on your website to make that option there. And high quality visual content and alt tags. Again, you can add alt text to any image on the website. So let's take a look how you can do that. It's really easy. I'm going to go back over here. You can add alt text. So even to this banner image, if we wanted to, you can click on the banner. This image we want to add text to right here. So when it comes to alt text, this is where people get a little lost in the sauce. They think they just need to put their information, keyword stuffing, but in a new way. And people have been doing that for a while too, but it's not really what it's for. Say my name is Jane Doe Studio, and we have this beautiful photo. What you need to do and think about it is this is for accessibility, but not just that type of accessibility that we were talking about earlier. This is more about like for people who have disabilities. So someone who's blind might be trying to figure out your website. Describing the image on the website is what this is for. And this is going to be huge and important. So people would do something like Jane Doe Studios in the year 2023. And then that's it, or family or wedding photography. Let me ask you, what does this photo say about any of that? Other than wedding photography. That's all you've put in here as alt text. And you do this to every single image on your website. You're not telling me anything. You're not telling Google anything. You're just trying to put a pseudo copyright, pseudo keyword stuff into the page. So when people search for Jane Doe Studios 2023 wedding photography and images, this will load up. But if you were doing it more practical, what Google's looking for is this. Let's take a look. I'm just going to keep the Jane Doe Studio 2023. I think that's fine. But let's describe this image a little bit more. Beautiful bride standing on a car, or we'll say orange car. Car in the desert with hot air balloons in the canyons while husband drives. Photo by Jane Doe Studio. Look at that. So we're telling a story through this. So you might not even notice all the hot air balloons and stuff back there, right? So I'm gonna save that. That's the context. You've given this context. As a photographer, I mean, I hate it. You have to tell a story through your photos, but that also means you're gonna have to tell a story through it online as well. So, beautiful bride standing on an orange cart in the desert with a hot air balloon while the husband sits in the driver's seat. Photo by you. That's what it's really looking for. You're able to still put your keyword in there, right? Wedding, even location, desert, and who's it by. If you want to put that, there you go. So when people are looking for, photos in the desert or wedding photos in the desert, this is actually going to come up. That's what it's meant for. That's what the key idea is behind all this. Not just putting your, stamp of approval or, copyright or anything like that. That's what it's really intended for, for people who have seeing vision impairments or anything like that. So when they come to your website, they could click on this with their tools and it would read them the image. That's what it's really, really meant for. Because the internet is not just for, seeing, able people. It's meant for everyone. So that's what that tool is really, really meant for at the end of the day. I just think at some point people started utilizing it the wrong way, and Google starts to catch on to those things. You'll start seeing little things like that. So, and Google's getting smarter. Google's getting the ability where it can read images anyway. So why not lend them a hand, right? Let's not confuse them by saying this is just Jane Doe Studio Photography 2023. Let's describe what's in it for them. So maybe it can properly index things faster for you. So when people are searching for whatever desert you might want to index this in, or the Grand Canyon, or wherever, they're going to see wedding photography by that person in this location. So that's one big thing we want to talk about when it comes to making sure that you have visual content and alt tags set up properly. So incorporate them. Be descriptive. Write concisely that bit of information about alt tags accurately describes the image, include relevant details about like the subject, the location, or any unique element that captured in the photograph. Incorporate keywords. While maintaining a natural flow, consider incorporating relevant keywords in your alt tags. Conduct keyword research, identifying those terms resonate with your target audience, align with your photography niche, and again, avoid keyword stuffing. That's huge. You don't want to just make this that. And of course, blogging and content marketing. That's something that you can totally utilize through the PhotoBiz platform. You can create your own blogs. You can create your own marketing things that you can then send out to social media channels and then get people over to your website. Your website's your best sales funnel. Once they're on your website, get them off Instagram, get them off Facebook, get them into your website. The more people that engage with this content, that click through your website, the more Google recognizes that and it starts putting you higher on the rankings. And of course, optimize for local. Making sure that your phone number, your address, and business name are proper. We call that the NAP. Make sure that's all set up properly. Make sure you have a Google Business Profile set up, or Bing Place, or I think there's a brand new one coming out for Apple. Make sure you have them set up all there and they have all the right descriptions and details. As long as it's all consistent, Google starts to take you legitimate. And again, people always have questions. Well, how are we different from other platforms? Well, guess what? They're all pretty close these days. Some vary, obviously, better than others, but we have tried to make sure you can customize. Everyone can do that. Meta descriptions, everyone can do that. Mobile optimization, everyone can do that. XML, they can do that too. But here's where things get a little difficult for some. Image optimization, some can vary. So like Show It, WordPress, they use the WordPress system, so you have to probably upload multiple versions or utilize third-party plugins. And those third-party plugins can vary on how good they do at it. Schema markups. Yes, we have schema abilities. You can see pretty much a lot of them are limited. WordPress has that kind of down right now, which is great, but it still works. We looked at Jen's website. She came right up, right? So don't worry about those things. Don't worry about it. The more Google gets smarter, the more our web pages get smarter too. It's not just that, okay? Then we can look at page speed. A lot of those vary as well. We have fast optimization because we ripped out a lot of that unnecessary code. You look at some of these other places like Pixieset, Show It, WordPress. They can vary varied in there. They could be average. They upload the one image, but maybe they don't do 3 conversions down of it or 2 conversions down. They might just, with WordPress, it's the image you upload sometimes, unless you have a third-party plugin, or you have to resize it multiple times. Zenfolio, I think they just, however it is, and then these other platforms, they kind of just have their own tools, and they either optimize it this way or that. We've always tried to optimize for speed because we think that's very valuable to our users with ranking. So we've talked a little bit, is PhotoBiz good? Yes. We talked about the technical aspects. Now, let's talk about some things that you can do on your web page to actually make this functional. So we're going to go back over here. If you've never done anything with adding SEO to your websites, it's really easy. It's super easy, okay? We're going to be right here. We're going to click on SEO. And you see right now, it's going to pull in some auto data. And that's basically from when you first set up your website. It's going to be pulling from places like the tracking section. So if you have this set up, you can see it's tracking right here, whatever the name of your website is. It's going to put that in automatically, and whatever the name of the page is. So if it's your home, it's going to just pull in those automatic right there. Home, Jane Doe Studios demo. Simple, easy enough, but we want more. You can click on the custom toggle, and here's where you can really customize your web page. And look, we wanted to make sure you understood how to make this customization work, and we put the details right here, the optimizations. So you can see 55, 60 keywords, or characters are important for a page title, 50 to 155 for the other, for meta descriptions, and then meta keywords. This is what we're going to say is 15, and it's getting less where you don't have to put as much as you used to. That's what we're saying that is important. Excuse me, let me take a sip of water. This is important because when you go beyond these optimizations, Google's like, I don't really like it. Let's try to keep Google liking your page, right? So the first thing I always tell people is, well, let's go to wordcounter.com, one of my favorite tools, because you can just type in, put anything you want in here. So we're looking at terms that we want people to find us for. We're going to just go ahead and take what's there on that page and let's make it work. So we know this is the characters right here. Let's go ahead and just copy that. Take it to our word counter, paste it in. You can see how many characters it is. This is 58, so it fits inside that realm of 60. So whatever your business name is, you can just really take this for now as the starting point. So I would take, Jane Doe wedding photography. And there we go. And then change the location. Greensboro. And see, I can keep manipulating until I'm still within that score, right? So Greensboro, North Carolina, and is that enough? Maybe not. Maybe I could say Greensboro and Triad area. There we go, 55. So I got something. Let's take that. I'm going to put it in there. It's within that 60 character limit that we have. There we go. Look at that. It's beautiful. And I could take out wedding if I want to, but I want people to know that I'm a wedding photographer. This is what I'm really trying to get it scored on. So we have that. Same thing here. Let's take this story and change it. I'm going to just copy it. Put it back in our word counter. And this is like really fast and easy to make, make it work. So Jane Doe is a PPA certified photographer who specializes in wedding engagement. Yes, I do. And I've been doing it over for 5 years, serving our, again, Greensboro. Triad, and maybe surrounding. Maybe you just expand it out more. Is that enough? Is it 165, I believe? Let's check. 155, so I'm just over a little bit. So I just want to make these changes. I want to get it in there. Now, is it going to really be mad at you if you go over too much? No, not too much. It's not going to be too mad. But some people go way overboard. Look at that. We're right on the dime. We're going to go take that. Going to pull it. Put it back in here. It's as simple as that. And then when it comes to keywords, this is where you can have a little fun. You can see that we're a wedding photographer, so let's go ahead and just take some of this and just kind of play with it. And we're going to put, instead of Jenny Jones, we're going to put our Jane Doe. Wedding photography, you know, then we're going to change it for that. We're going to take it Greensboro. Wedding photography, Greensboro. Wedding portraits. And then this is where you can get a little, you know, blend it a little bit. You can add it again. This time we're going to be Jane Doe. Engagement photography, you know. Then you just keep, you know, making those changes till you get something. Maybe this time instead of that, we're going to do Winston-Salem. All these surrounding areas that you want to hit, you can put those in there. And then North Carolina. And you keep going. So, you know, right now we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I could add like 9 more. And that would tell what I want for my SEO. And when you're done, you hit Save Changes. And then you could take this to other pages, ones that you want to be ranked for. So if you had a gallery like that, you know, I'd come to the gallery page. I would go ahead and add that in here. If this was all specific to weddings, you know, I'd put that in here. That way it's about that. And then quickly just go back over here, take the SEO data from there, and then make tweaks once I'm done. So there we go. And then take our last piece, our keywords. We want that. Done. Look at that. We're ready to go now. So go over here, click on our SEO, paste it in there, and it's done. Now, you can, of course, make little changes here and there. You can say, you know, you can put photo gallery. You can put something like that. You can put anything like that. You could now optimize it differently. Here, you could add something about portfolio. You could put something, information in here if you want to change any of that. You know, view Jane Doe's certified photography, whatever you want to. You can. This is where you can tell a little bit more story in here about specific pages as you go on. Just make little tweaks here and there. And then once you've made all that SEO changes, once you have your pages set up and you're ready for Google to find you, you can go over here, click on tracking, and then you have this little publish site button, you know, sitemap. Click it, and we're telling Google we've made some changes. Now your SEO is ready. You do that to all the pages you want to be found for. You can do it to every single page or only specific pages. So if you want your gallery viewable, homepage viewable, your about you page viewable, and contact. Those are the main ones that you want your core pages found. Go ahead and have those ready. Now you can have your investment page and other pages like that set up as well. But you don't have to do every single page on your website. Just want to make sure you know that, because some people can have 30 pages and they're like, I got to do this for every page. Well, if you want to, yeah. But think about the core pages that you want to be searched for. Obviously your home page, but your about page and contact page are also the most searched pages on your website. And as a photographer, your portfolio. That's, you know, at least 4, right? So now that you got your website, got it all optimized, there's some other things you can do with this optimization. You can go over and look at some other options. Let's take a look at how you can optimize a gallery. So you have your gallery set up, got all your images on it, but it doesn't say anything. What are you going to do? Well, let's talk about how you can make a page more targeted for search. So obviously you're going to add your images, and we recommend between 30 to 50 images per gallery. Don't want more than that. Why? Here's a few things we want to consider again. Show your best work, update it often, and remove old stuff. I have seen some photographers still out there floating things they shot in 2010. And the internet, everything ages faster. So something that might be 10 years old looks 20. Anything that looks 20 looks ancient, right? So we want to make sure that we're showcasing your best work at all times. So be selective. Remove stuff within a year or two if it's not cool anymore. Because nothing ages faster than a photograph, because a lot of things are changing. Not just the way it looks, but techniques change, your lenses change, and the biggest thing is the context within the image changes. What people are wearing, their hairstyles, their glasses, their clothing, you name it, their cars. All that changes, and you might not think it looks that old, but it might read old to someone else. And when someone's trying to find a new photographer, they're looking at those things, those aesthetics, right? So be selective. And, of course, being selective, not every shot is worth showcasing. I know you think every shot you shoot is great, but not to everyone. So, you don't need a gallery with 1,000 images in it. So be selective. Again, 30 to 50 images is worth it. Number of images displayed on the page have a direct correlation of your page load time. We've talked about page speed. So load times are factored into Google and other search engines. Faster loading pages, better ranking pages. So again, 30 to 50 images is all you need. We have that lazy load functionality as well. So use the lazy load function. Load more. Functionality limits how many images are loading on your website at the same time. This optimizes the page load time. So same as above, but now it won't load everything right away. So again, that's why that lazy loading option is there. It's so it doesn't break the page speed, especially for mobile optimization. And keep things from being overwhelming people. People can get an impression of who you are right away. I can usually tell if I like this photographer in 10 photos. I'm blown away. I'm hiring them, right? That's what you want. You want to leave people awestruck, but don't give them too much. Otherwise, it starts to become too samey for them. And even then, they're just like, yeah, I'm kind of bored with it. Just give them enough. It's the appetizer, right? Before they get their entree, which is working with you. So think about that. So we got this going. We got this nice little gallery. It's got the lazy load on. But we need to add a page title. Add a page title. Use those H1 tags. It's great. It's going to help give you something. And then add a description. Descriptions are important to a page because now this page can now be found before your homepage. And why is that important? Well, someone might find this. So we want to add relevant content to a page. So if we're doing something for seniors, I wrote up a little blurb here that I think could help anyone. So think about this. Jane Doe Studios captures senior photos in the X location surrounding area. I work with to showcase your personality through portraits that may have been taken in studio or on location. Allow me to bring out the hidden talents, beauty, or what makes you unique. You might be an athlete, artist, tech whiz, or wallflower. No matter what, I will make you shine your brightest. So get ready to have fun and work together and capture these moments or these memories. You'll receive Instagram worth digital images you can share, plus artwork on your walls of your home that your parents and grandparents will treasure. Let's get started. That's 103 words. So if you're able to put in some context like that, that's great. Because what did we just learn on this homepage or this page versus your homepage? Well, for seniors, if you have multiple types of photography, guess what? For your senior page, we did this. We know the business name, Jane Doe Studios, capturing senior photos in wherever your location is in the surrounding area. So I would say Greensboro area and surrounding areas. I work to showcase personality. So now we're giving some context. Personality through portraits. We do portraits, yes. And in studio or on location. So now we're talking about where you do it at. You can do it in a location or in studio. Allow me to bring out your hidden talents, blah, blah, blah. Get ready to work with the types of people we're working with. And then you'll have fun working together to capture these memories. We'll receive Instagram-worthy digital images, which is now giving context to products that you have. And plus, share artworks on the walls for your home. So now we're still giving context. And who's going to really enjoy it? Who's the target demo after these photos that you take of yourself? Your parents and grandparents, they're going to buy. So that's what we want. That's what you want to tell. This is a story you're telling. Jane Doe Studios, senior photography, X location, how to share online, and digital images and print options available. 103 words told that entire story. Put that on your galleries. I promise you it will not detract. It will only help your pages with search. And we don't want to have any dead ends at any page. So add a form or secondary menu or a call to action. And so what do we mean by that? So this is what I call a secondary navigation. You get to the bottom of a page and then it's telling them to do something else. You're the director, so direct them where to go. You want them to view the portfolio? Great. Give them something to click on. You want them to learn more in investment about how much it's going to cost or anything like that? give them something to click on. Or if they're ready to book, give them the option to click right away versus searching for it in the top navigation. They get to the bottom of this gallery, they should go ahead and see this right here as an option. And or you could have it where it's just to a form, or you have that below it too. So if they have any questions right away, or they're interested in booking, they could do this right on the page too. So make this something that can be helpful. No dead ends. Give them something to do. So a dedicated form is great because you can give them questions like when they're graduating, what types of settings, etc. Secondary navigation gives them more options of where to go, to learn more, to see more of your work, ready to book, and what to expect. And what's this doing again? It's saving scrolling and unnecessary clicks, gives visual direction, and discourages people from leaving. We do not want them to get back to Instagram or Facebook. We want them to stay here. And call to actions can drive them directly where we want them to go. So this is how you're optimizing your page. You're customizing the SEO data. So then you would go through here and then you would add all this SEO data right here anyway. So again, I'm going to pull it up so you can see it bigger just in case. So you can see Jane Doe Studios, Greensboro, NC wedding photographer. Jane Doe is a certified, does this, specializes in seniors and children photography, blah, blah, blah. However you're going to have it, and then all your meta keywords. So that's what I would put to a gallery. I would want people to be able to see that. So I'm going to leave that sitting so you can take a look. Again, this is the types of details. This is all working within that. And again, use wordcounter.com. It's a really great tool, really helpful when it comes to doing your own after you do your own keyword research and putting it in there. Okay? It's very valuable. And then when you're done with that page, publish that sitemap. Click that sitemap. Tell Google this page is ready to be viewed. That's very, very important. Now we're coming to the end of today's discussion, but there's a few other things I want to leave you with. Again, the next piece after optimizing your page is then creating blogs. And I hope you know how to create a blog. If not, I'm going to send you some information. I'm going to throw it over here. I'm going to put all these links over here right quick. But the first I'm going to start with is actually going to be about blogging. This is great because this blog right here is going to tell you why it's important. And guess what? There's something really cool at the end. So first of all, you get that blog title. That's important. Make sure you have that. Opening sentence. Make sure that it's clever and has interest and it's engaging. Something like today's senior photography session and Sarah in City Central Park in Sydney was great. She was such a natural and I love working with her. So we're giving context. It's all about context at the end of the day, right? And this is what it makes Google very excited. So, we want to make sure that they know that what the location is and what types of photography. Adding those images, again, being selective, choosing what you want to be seen, adding context to the text, talk about where the images are, and adding call to actions at the end of those pages helps with creating a better sales funnel at the end of the day. And then you have this awesome guide here at the bottom. This guide right here is going to be really great for you, and I'm going to put a direct link to this as well. This is an SEO friendly guide that you can take advantage of. And basically, this is what it should look like. You should have a title, the content within it, and the links. This is how you should set it up. I'm going to put a direct link to this guide. Download it, save it, put it by you, keep it on you. This is how you can create all your content going forward for blogs. And then when you're done with a blog, what should you do with it? Should it just live on your website? No. Send it directly to your customers. Send it to your social media links. Send it to LinkedIn. Send it to, Facebook. Send it to Instagram. Stories, you name it. TikTok. Get people to find these links to be able to reach out to you. When you're emailing people directly, hey, did you see my recent blog post? Have something as context for people to see that you're constantly working. This helps with engagement. The more engaging a page is, it ranks better. This blog post might rank higher than your website. And that's great because then you're getting eyeballs on it. We have one blog that we wrote maybe 14 years ago. That's probably one of the most popular blog posts probably on the internet. And it's just like, how do you make a transparent PNG? That blog post has done incredible numbers, gang. And is the context of it. It might not be talking about, just for PhotoBiz, but it's just helping people in the end, right? But it was meant for like, hey, if you need to upload a transparent PNG logo or something like that, here's how to do it. Everyone on the internet has scoured it and found it. So think about how if you take photos in a certain location, maybe a beach or a park or something like that, downtown area, people might find those images and be like, man, who is this photographer? These shots are amazing. That's what you want at the end of the day, that organic piece to it, right? So take advantage of that. And then having troubles figuring out what to write about, one of my favorite blog articles I've written, take advantage of this. This one is awesome because it's 7 topics photographers can use to help blog for SEO. Really great article. This is going to give you how you can plan your entire marketing for the year and every year. So obviously topic 1, share tips on a successful photo session. And here's the topics that you can utilize out of that type of topic. So these are subjects that you can use. John has a question. Is this being recorded? And is it available to be able to watch again? Yes, this will be available right away after here. So you'll go to facebook.com/PhotoBiz/live and you'll see it there. I'm also going to upload it to our youtube.com/PhotoBiz, so it'll be there as well, John. So if you want to watch it on YouTube or Facebook again, you'll have it right away, okay? I think it'll, after this stream ends, it'll immediately be there. And then I'll upload it in a little bit to YouTube. But yes, it'll be available. Watch anytime you want to. Again, here is those. So 7 topics. Topic 1, 7 subjects that you can utilize. Several. So take advantage of that. Again, here's another one. Focus on upcoming seasonal sessions. And here's some topics that you could utilize out of that. Feature customer experiences. Here's some more subjects that you can utilize out of that. So I've tried to make this so you have context to be like, well, I don't know what to write about. Guess what? Now you do. Now you don't have an excuse. I think there's over 20-something options right here that you can go ahead and set up, and then you can draft these posts and have them waiting to be published later. And I'll show you that real quick as well. But here are all these types of subjects that you can utilize to write with in that blog article. Check it out. I think it'll help you in the long run. But once you get a blog written, I'm just going to run over to the blog builder, click on it. Maybe I'm ready to publish this one. We'll just click on it real quick. You can see, I'm going to add my tag. We're just going to call this wedding. Done. All right, I'm ready to publish this thing, but I don't want it to be public for a while. You can schedule when it publishes. So I'm going to change the publish date to, maybe not 2020, but somewhere in the future. We'll just do that. We're going to have it published next month. I'm going to make it published then. There you go. At what time? And there we go. Now it's scheduled. You can do this for tons of topics. You can do all these articles and just have them published out later. And you can also do retro topics. So if you are coming from another platform, from an old blog post, and you want people to be able to do it, you can also retroactively put a date. So maybe this blog came out in March instead. You can do that. Or you can publish right away or keep it in your drafts. It's whatever you want to. So another great thing about that. I think those are the main topics. Again, I'm going to add that SEO technical tool here as well, so you can understand more about it. And again, is PhotoBiz good for SEO? Yes, it is. So I want to thank you all for joining me today. I think we went over a lot of great details. We set up our SEO. We talked about SEO, the importance of SEO. Is SEO good with PhotoBiz good with SEO? Yes. And even gave you some topics and a guide on how to build your blog. So take advantage of all these things that I've left links into. Jump on those. This is going to help. I'm also going to add it to the YouTube for links, so you can reach those whenever you need to. If you lose this comment section, you'll always be able to go to that YouTube. So just check out our youtube.com/PhotoBiz. And you'll see all our coming videos, all these recent videos that are here, they'll be here. So the next one will upload, it'll be down here in the video section. You just click on it, you can watch it anytime you want to. So we have tons of content that you can always find on there. So if you're just getting started or maybe you need help, check out our new Quick Start series. It can help you walk through building your website, and you can see each video is very short and easy. That's how quickly you can get your website up. 7 steps, and you can be online in no time. And if you're learning more about products individually, you can check out the PhotoBiz Builder Overview demo, the e-commerce demos, the client galleries demos, scheduler, marketing, form builder, and blog builder and CRM. So if you're doing anything, getting set up, this is going to be helpful for that. So we have that in our tutorials. And if you missed it, we have a great little video that just popped up today. Let me see if I can play it from here. so you can enjoy.
It's Jeffrey from PhotoBiz. We have some great things coming out for you this fall, so let's go take a look. With fonts, we're increasing the controls that you have. As it relates to fonts, we're providing you more controls. You can already control font types, sizes, and colors. Soon you'll have new options to control font sizes, letter spacing, and line heights on your website. And we have some updates coming to client galleries. We have a number of new features in the works to streamline the sales process, including add-ons. When selling products and packages, this new feature will allow you to let customers purchasing a product or package select additional photos for an additional fee. Products and packages with add-on options will have a flag to alert customers that it's available. We're also providing autofill single post packages. In other words, if you sell a package with a single image printed at a different size, once released, this new feature will allow customers to view an image, select a single pose package to purchase for that image, and have the image automatically be applied to that package. A big feature we have coming up is the ability to add folders within the clipboard. Once released, you'll be able to organize your images on their clipboard with ease. You will continue to have the option to view all the images in your clipboard, and soon you'll be able to create folders, truly making the organizing of your files simpler. And that's what we have coming out this fall. We look forward to seeing how you're going to use these new tools.
So yeah, those are the new things that are coming out this fall. And if you want to know more, just check out our blog.photobiz.com. We have a lot of great details there. You'll see our information about coming soon, those techniques. And again, if you need help with anything, ChatGPT and other AI systems are out there to help you whenever you need it. So if you need help with writing content and things like that, hey, it's a great thing to bounce ideas off of. You can also check out, we have more collaborative tools now with the PhotoBiz users and permissions. So if you have team members and you need to give them access, you can now create up to 10 users, not just yourself, but 10 extra users that can now access your website. And you can also turn on and off functionalities and give them permissions on what they can see. So if you don't want them to be able to see any financial things, or maybe you don't want anyone to touch anything on your website, you can turn on those options as well. You can also see that recent article about PhotoBiz good for SEO and other features like that. And you can check out our education.photobiz.com anytime. It's going to have a great place where you can see those videos on demand in the on demand tab, so you can watch those videos anytime about those demos or those demonstrations on how to get started quickly. But you can also see our upcoming events. So just click on the upcoming events tab. You can see we're talking about today SEO. Next week we're going to have website reviews, so join us for that. So if you want to have your website reviewed, it's a great time to kind of see what you're doing. And if there's not many people here, I can have time to jump in and look at your website. And then after that, we're going to be talking about customizing your website. People are excited about being able to know more about how they can optimize and make their website look better. That's going to be a fun day to look at that as well. And you can see we also have coaching. So if you want to have some private one-on-one time, you can check up our coaching assistances here. So you can see we have a design assistance, getting started, e-commerce and client galleries, SEO, forms and contracts and marketing. For 1 hour for $150, you can get a lot done. And I'm going to have to say, it's one of my favorite things. We get to team you up with one of our coaches, and they're able to do a lot for you. And you can see it makes wonders for people, such as Angie Brown's photography. You can see they were amazing. I can't thank you all for all the help you've transformed my website. Thanks again for all your guidance. You've helped me in invaluable ways. So you can get a lot done in that 1 hour. So think about today. We spoke for about an hour. We've got a lot done. We talked about SEO. Imagine if we were focusing just on your website, what we could accomplish. So I just want to thank everyone for joining me. Take advantage of those links and take advantage of the SEO that you have in your website. Take advantage of those tools. Start getting it together. If you need any help, if you need any assistance, give our team a call. We also have services available for that whenever you need it. You can check it out at our photobiz.com. You can go down to the very bottom. You can see that we have SEO Go, our service available. If you want our team to help you with getting your SEO set up, managing it and everything, and they go through everything, you can learn more and our team will actually do that for you. It's a great service. If you don't want to deal with SEO and want someone else to manage it for you, let us do it. We'll take care of it. So just go to photobiz.com/SEO and you'll see these details right here. And they get real results. Look at that. We saw Jen Lewis's website today. Guess what? She's an SEO client. See how she was ranking. Those snippets, those little schemas. So take advantage of these features. Take advantage of these services when you can. And thank you again. And I hope to see you next time.